Okay, well, welcome everybody to This Ascended Life, the next version of it. And getting back in the interview mode, I did a few of these. This was a test run.
That's cute. The next version of This Ascended Life.
The next version, we're higher and hopefully lighter. And it's still an experiment for me also, learning how to interview people, which the ones we've done so far have been amazingly well. And we have our wonderful guest here. And what is today, actually?
This is November 19th.
Today is November 19th, 2016, here on planet Earth. And we have a very special guest who is also a wonderful, amazing part of the Soul Family and Cartron group. And it is Donna Hill from Calgary. Whoa. Who was from Calgary. Where are you at now, Donna?
Where are you at now, Donna?
It's central Saskatchewan. If I tell you, you'll know exactly where I am.
Who is over there in central Saskatchewan, Canada.
Yeah.
Yay!
In the middle of nowhere.
In the middle of nowhere, but yet she's everywhere. So Donna, we welcome you. Oh my gosh, and everyone, send a nice huge wave of love to Donna, because this is one of her first interviews, I believe, and luckily, you know, this is all Soul Family, so you know, it'll all be perfect, whatever comes through. They all love you, so. And,
Yes.
all right.
So welcome, Donna.
And to anyone, so welcome. And okay, I got some notes here myself. And whenever you're done, yeah, you can.
Oh, it's
be part
all
of
ready,
this,
actually.
too.
No, I'm just
And to anyone who got the newsletter, we also, I believe, we attached Donna's bio in there, but we can talk a little bit about that too. So, oh my gosh, so welcome, Donna, and hi, everyone's on the chat. Hadley, Lorraine.
oh, good.
Janet, Christine, Alaska, and the Leprechauns are here with much love. Alrighty. So, Donna is a healer from Canada, and one of our group, I already said that. So, Donna, is there any particular thing you'd like to start with first? I wrote down several things a little bit about your journey. One of them being your exit points.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'm good to start anywhere.
Okay.
The thing that called me to Cartron really was when he said you didn't choose your family. And so I went and checked that out thoroughly.
Ooh.
And so it did resonate. Otherwise, you wouldn't have followed up on it.
Yeah, exactly. And it was quite, I can share that part with the group. It was quite, like for me to go back through that, it was quite a traumatic thing. Because there was a lot of darkness and I didn't know where to come into the body. Mm-hmm. You know, like usually all that stuff's set up before you incarnate. And I kind of crash landed, just like Cartron said. So that was a big resonating point for me with the work.
Yes, you know, when Cartron found that out, Donna, it was doing lots of researches, and the story kept being the same, to where it's like we get the same thing. This doesn't feel like my family. Things are hard to do, and so he started piecing it together over 1,000 sessions or so, and it was like, wait a second, this is too much of a similar pattern. These people do not know each other, so there must be that commonality in there. And after he traced it, he found that literally the whole timeline threw off, and so instead of changing one person's life to change the timeline of destiny, the whole thing moved, and he calculated about 100 miles away. So a lot of people landed in the wrong place with the wrong families and stuff, different than what their life patterns were set up in the book of life. So that's what he was talking about with you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I've run into people with the same story afterwards too. You just don't resonate with the family, the black, you know, we're the black sheep and the ones that are always picked on, and you know, all of that. So a lot of trauma, particularly in our family as well too. So
absolutely. And I've always wondered too, do we just come in, you know, I've contemplated several things like that at a much higher vibration than them, and we just, not that we come in perfect or anything. I can be a loudmouth at times, but do, do we intimidate them? Do we kick up all their issues? Do we kick up the whole family, the whole lineage's issues to be looked at, and things like that, you know? And had they, in previous generations, I'd question, taken it up as far as they could go, you know, and then we come in and bump it up several notches higher, and there comes the confliction and all that. And you know, a lot of us are system busters, and to break those patterns, and some of them, like in my family, would want to hold on to them for dear life, and it was like, no, there's better ways better ways to do things than a lot of you have done, and a lot of good things we get from them, but definitely a light worker thing.
So Donna, I have a question.
Yes.
Why are we interviewing you?
But I'm sorry, I never heard the question.
Why are we interviewing you right now? Why is everybody listening to you?
Oh, well, that's the question I've been thinking about all afternoon. I think it has to do with dragons.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't just leave us hanging. You have to tell us more what you're getting.
Yes, and please drag us along with you.
Drag on. Oh, ow.
Well, this is also about the Cartron work too, because remember we went and freed some dragons. And I didn't pay too much close attention to that until I was freeing up a soul part of mine, not very long ago, only about a week ago. And in so doing, it was a dragon that, like when dragons and dragon riders, I guess that's what you call them, we share a soul. It's almost like that. So it's really difficult to tell the difference between yourself and this dragon. And so when I freed him, we had to journey to another realm, another world for this healing to take place. And it opened my heart in another way that I never knew could happen. So it was quite a mystical and cherished experience again, to be reunited with that part of who I was. So, and my friend, Debbie S. from Missouri, hi Debbie.
Hi Debbie.
She
One of them came on.
She sent me a little link with a woman who worked with dragons, so that was real coincidental. So now I actually have 3 dragon totems that are working, because I really think at this point, because there's so much chaos in the world,
right,
and we've shifted timelines and stuff, that that it's just time for us to kind of put on our armor and go out there and kick some butt, you know? Light some bums on fire, maybe.
Eh?
It's you know, back in 2008 or 10, which seems like so long ago. But it's like in this millennium. Remember, everybody, that there was this ley line changeover from the masculine to the feminine dragon ley lines, and the dragons didn't tell humanity what to do with that. So it was the masculine power that the dragons represented, and so there was this whole thing, and it was where Venus actually did a loop-de-loop in front of the sun astrologically. We happened to be at this beautiful place, but it was that changeover that started going into the feminine dragon line. So the dragons have, I'm sure you guys have, on the broadcast, have experienced the dragons touching your life now and then. That's been very special. So that is really cool. We freed up some dragons. Can you remember that session?
Oh boy. Not specifically. It was to do, I think, with the temple healings, or so.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, a couple years ago anyway, I would think.
Yeah, about a year ago, the white dragon contacted me in a very lucid dream state. And it was like, that's unusual. I mean, it put its body next to mine, and it was about half the size of a house, and it wrapped its tail around me, and I'm like, okay. But so, how have the dragons played a part in your life, or what has been happening with you in a result of that, and other things that's coming to you? Because you said it was the dragons is one of the reasons why you're being interviewed today.
Yeah. Well, I had to come up with something real quick, I guess. But with dragons, for me, that first dragon was really super protective. And quite a large dragon, so really holding space for me, but heart space as well. So and helps me to stay in my heart and to stay in integrity. And then there was another cute little baby dragon, and she's all about love. She's almost like a little fairy, and she's all about love and support and goofiness and silly little roar and all of that. And then there's a third dragon as well, that is just, you don't ever mess with him, but kind of having a lot of like jewel encrusted armor is what I remember specifically about this big guy. And yeah, it's a very interesting exploration. I haven't had a lot of time yet to work with it too much, but yeah, they're really here to help us empower and also to bring back the magic into this realm, which is so, well, it's chaos out there right now. So yeah.
Yes,
that's my sense.
You're on the safe side of the border right now.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. So because of the challenges and adventures that you had in your life, and it's that strength of the dragons and probably other elementals that have helped you get through it. What are some of the most notable, poignant, major transformations that you can recall that really got you to this place?
Oh boy. Well, I mean, my spiritual awakening was kind of an interesting thing because how did that happen? I just knew, I ran into a woman, I was in university, I ran into a woman who was a Baha'i, and I was having a hard time, and she gave me this simple little prayer, and I think I looked at her like she gave me a dead rat or something, but then she just kept inviting me out with her friends and do stuff together, and I was a young gal, who am I to say no to hanging around with gorgeous Persian men? But everywhere they went, the Baha'is, when they got together, they pray, and she gave me a little prayer book. And I knew there was something big going on with the prayer. So I could feel that connection, that energetic connection. And so that's what really started me on my spiritual journey. And the other thing was that I had what I later found out to be an exit point in my life. That was, I wasn't very old, I was about 22, but we were in this car accident. And back then you didn't wear seatbelts. And so the driver was going about 85 miles an hour and hit an approach. And I knew he was going to hit. And I put my knees up underneath the dash. And so we skidded across the road and across the ditch and into a barbed wire fence. And then, stopped, and minimal damage to the truck. And I got a big bruise, and that was the extent of it. But it could have very well been the end. I could have went through the windshield, basically. So, and I never thought about it too much. But shortly after that was when I started on my spiritual journey. Like, that wasn't a conscious decision not to exit at that point, and yet, I was, I think, protected in that sense through that accident. So, that was a turning point too.
Did you notice a major change in your life after that, or did it just go la-di-da-di-da, don't go 85 around that corner again?
Honest, we never thought about it again. But, then I started the spiritual exploration, and I was in university, and I hired a therapist. I wanted someone who worked with dreams because I knew that was significant. Mm-hmm. And I found this woman, there was a synchronicity involved there too, but she worked with dreams, and she let me clean her house 4 hours a week, and because I didn't have any money, so I cleaned her house for a number of months. And then I worked with her husband as well, and they trained their clients that wanted to be trained, and they did cool stuff like imagery and redecision therapy and transactional analysis, and you know, all the stuff from the 80s, which was big back then in the 1980s. Yeah, so that started me and introduced me to my foremost spiritual training, really. So,
Wow.
you know, it's just validated my spiritual path at that point. So.
Yeah, and in your biography you said, wow, you studied a lot of things, the NLP and all kind of different things. I was like, wow, I didn't know Donna's like studied that many things. It was like, that was pretty impressive. So,
Oh, yeah.
definitely amazing.
It's really to keep my head afloat. I was really looking for ways to heal my physical, like I had chronic fatigue syndrome for so many years. So I was pretty motivated to, you know, keep moving forward and, keep uncovering. Really, I don't think that the energy was there to support all that like it is now, though. Like, I think people can resolve stuff way quicker than we did back then.
There is a definite quickening going on about the work that was laying before has become the foundation for a greater pathway. So it is accelerating safely, because you don't just want to throw a big energy in a direction when the path has only been pioneered a little bit. There's a lot of boulders that you could hit and snags and stuff like that. So it seems like, when I've seen a picture of you before you interacted with Cartron, and did you have a cane or something like that in one picture?
I'm sorry, what was it? Did I have what before one picture?
Did you have a cane or something, or was that someone else that I'm thinking about?
No, I think she had a cane.
No, I never had a cane.
Okay, because if I remember right, there were pictures of before the interaction and then after several interactions, and you looked markedly different. Like, you seemed to be able to adapt, grow, change, adopt the different philosophies and stuff. So how do you stay open to where you can continuously evolve and change in your life as yourself?
Well, and this is a new answer again too, just since we seem to have switched timelines. Everybody, did you feel that?
Oh, yeah.
It's right after that election. It was totally different. And then there was chaos, and then that new moon, I went back onto the new timeline. So this is a new experience for me now, to see who I am in this new reality. So it's really, at this point, faith, just faith, just trusting that things are going to work out wherever I go now. So spiritually.
Your previous current incarnation dealt with administrative issues for a company or something, didn't it?
Oh God, yeah. Yeah, that's what I did in the 9-to-5 world for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I did labor ready, and I was making $8 to $10 an hour cash, and I get paid every day and do the jobs that no one else wanted. But I never quit my day job for 20 years. It's like, because spiritual journeys don't pay well until you get them dialed in. And so it became the Dharma, the labor of love, or whatever. So it's nice to see that you keep transforming and stuff, and it seems like you're creating your own system that can really help people go through changes. And then something else I'd like you to mention is, when we were just starting out on the Facebook, whatever, you do these really cool graphics, and you just fill in the blanks, Patrick, and it was like so cool, because oh my God, that was really neat. We really thank you for that.
Yeah.
Oh, that was fun. Did I send you my stick-to-itness certificate? I believe I did.
No, I don't know. There were so many things that I refused to answer in a responsible manner, and so I was good at procrastinating. I had at least one PhD in that.
There was, if anybody's interested, anyone on the line, if you want a stick-to-itness certificate from the Epiphany University, then for sure you Facebook me. I'll send you one. It's signed by Dr. Chuck How to Go. So.
Okay, I'm going to see if I heard that correctly. Doc Chuck How to Go.
Yeah, as in how to go.
Oh,
that's cute.
yeah, because I was very impressed. You had some beautiful beautiful things that you've done that we have on Facebook still. You know, they throw it in your face every year. Oh, this is what you were a year ago. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
This is your stalker.
Yeah.
This is your... Oh, God.
I still have them. I can probably Dropbox you all of them at once if you want. I still have them.
That would be good.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
This, you know, I don't know if people realize how much of a historical legacy that we are leaving as what we're doing every day, as beings of light who are in the pioneering level. That whole timeline change, I noticed that there was some very, very good things that happened that was synchronistically flowing. And so then you get into this little funk, but I don't know how many people on this broadcast I've noticed that the funk is a little less, if not greatly less, and things are synchronistically easier and flowing nicely. That is the changeover of the timeline. And so it sounds like you've rode that wave really well, so you must have waxed your surfboard for this occasion.
Yep.
And
for sure. And it's one of those things of, you know, just sticking to it and just keep going and not giving up. And we're all going to get there, really.
Yes. So Donna, are you on both of these broadcasts also and watching, or which one are you on?
Well, I'm mostly focusing on Skype because there's a little bit of a lag. I can see you guys, but I turned the volume off.
Yes.
But there's a few minute lag, and so I get confused if I was trying to follow both.
Yeah, it's a 15-second, I think, on YouTube if you don't set it for a delay. And one of the things that I would like is that people could, that's why I'm asking which one that you are on, because that people can ask you questions in the chat of the broadcast that you're on, so you can answer them if you guys have any Q&A, or you can send it to us and we'll monitor that and we can ask you verbally on this, so that people, if you have any questions for Donna. And so
Donna too, you had which I resonated, they said I was diagnosed with that at 20, but a lot of it's gone, the fibromyalgia. And you know what I found was interesting about that was a lot of healers actually have that, but they work with very powerful energy. I don't know if you had ever heard anything about that. And just different things, you know, they'll shut lights off sometimes and all the stuff we do.
Not that's PTSD, the
fibromyalgia. No, the fibromyalgia. I hadn't known if you had ever heard about that. I thought that was a fascinating connection, though, between a lot of female healers and that issue.
Yeah, also ultra-sensitive folks. I took on so much stuff, that's how I ended up getting sick, really. There's a big boundary issue with any kind of illness like that, is what I found. So in terms of healing, I really had to, clear all that stuff out. So really, yeah. But it's trauma-based. Like for me anyway, it was post-traumatic stress is what caused the initial illness, right? But, it's all resolvable. But yeah, if people have questions, go ahead and you can just ask me. It looks like I'm on Radiant Angels broadcast.
Okay, that's a primary link, everybody. And so if you have any questions, you do it on Radiant Angels broadcast link. And you can, in the chat, ask Donna questions. And we'll also watch them as well. When you said you had post-traumatic stress, what would you be having stress in a post-traumatic manner with?
Well, it's really because my family of origin was, not only was the birth trauma when I came in to the wrong family, but also my parents were on the tail end of their relationship and there was a lot of stuff going on between them and didn't want to be together and didn't want kids and, all of that stuff going on. And so there was a lot of physical and mental abuse going on there as well. So for me, and there was also a dairy allergy because I had migraines when I was a little kid. And that was, if you have an extreme allergy on top of a developing, body, basically, that's another problem there. But there was a lot of different things. Epstein-Barr was another part of this particular one. A lot of different, and just a lot of soul retrieval work. Like my soul just didn't come in completely because it was, I wasn't welcome. So there was that part of it as well. So,
You know,
and more, like you'd almost have to write a book about some of this stuff. But yeah.
There's it's a sad commonality that the light workers were not wanted in these patterns that weren't really designed for, nor was laying out for them in the beginning before they came here, because you guys are all basically the children of prophecy, to where you come in and you hold those places. So to not be welcomed even with your own family can be traumatic for a lot of people, because you get to be the one you're blamed for everything basically, and especially as a nice soul, you're not going to go out and just whack somebody over with a broomstick or something, at least not in the beginning. And so, it takes a while to build up the broomstick moment. So either that or you just go away, and then by that time, it's like trying to get away. Like saw this in a lot of younger women trying to leave the household where the dominant male, the father, my house, my rules, and as long as you're here, young lady, da-da-da. So it was a level of psychological debasement. But as they would get their power back and say, I can't do it anymore, because the soul will not be silenced, neither will the heart eventually, then they had to break away, and it was a whole process. So yeah, there's a lot of trauma and stress that can happen with you becoming a light worker, not in your perfect life.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it saved my life, because I don't think I would still be around if I wouldn't have went down this particular road that I went down either. So.
How would you describe the particular road, quote unquote?
Well, I just fell in love with God. I was, it didn't matter, I always knew that there was something out there, and even if I felt disconnected from it, that there was this, I guess people would say it's like an intelligence, but that there was a definite energy to just breathing in and out. It was always there, part of my beingness, really. And so that kept me questing, and it kept me searching, and it kept me moving forward as best I could. So.
And there's another thing that I noticed, knowing you for several years, is that you ran into a similar thing that a lot of beings of light have. They're in between lives. The new one hasn't started. There's no clarity.
Yeah. You're
wondering what the heck to do. A loss of identity often ensues. And so you're like going, well, what do I do now? And you just sit there, in a limbo state. It's like almost like a living purgatory. And you don't know what's next. How did you begin to start shifting that for yourself?
Well, I'm very good at stick-to-itness, I guess I'm going to say. This, because I had quite a dark night of soul last fall for about 7 months.
Yes.
Where I was just, I had a bad health crash, and I had to leave Calgary. And, a lot of stuff went on, and I just kept focusing, because it felt so heavy. I didn't think I was going to get through it, but I just kept moving forward. And if you have even without money, there's a whole lot of good stuff you can find for free on the internet. And I found a lot of it, and I had a lot of recordings, and I just pushed and pushed, and this energy, like at the end of September, I just broke through, because I was, I was very much, oh my God, it's hopeless, and I can't believe I'm living here. And, I was really quite anxious about the future. And it was like the end of September, it was like that was just done. And then, and I still don't really know what's going to happen, but I just know that I'll be moving on, and I'm fine, and I have faith, and now I have dragon energy with me. And, it's opening up really, really fast. And I'm really hoping that it's like that for a lot of light workers, is that we turn this corner, and now we'll just, move and shake and go do our own thing. And, I'm ready to take some risks now even, and try some new things that I wasn't, I was a pretty timid little girl. So just for me to agree to do an interview is really quite a big step for me.
Everyone give a big spiritual applause to Donna in Saskatchewan.
Yes, okay, so the lottery numbers are, we're listening, it's like, yeah, that can be so intimidating. The inner journey can be the most greatest mountain. But once you do it, it's okay. And then after a while, you'll never go back to dry. You want that gravy in your food. So it can be quite an intimidating journey to do what Rebecca fondly calls a timeline jump. And so what it feels like is that you successfully have begun your process of at least starting to energize a better timeline for yourself. And truly, I think on a global level, you are like bespeaking what is happening to a lot of the light, because what we've held on to, which no longer serves us, is being pulled from us whether we want it or not. And we'll see that it's going to become very good, because when that other adverse canceling energy is removed from our field and we get a bunch of positive energies reinforcing what we see reality in the world should be, then you guys are going to watch this amazing science of miracles come out. So it's really great that you're pioneering this up there in the, well, I was going to say the cold country, but last year it didn't get that cold. What's the temperature now in Canada?
Oh, heavens. I guess you're on Fahrenheit, eh? So it would be like 16, 17.
Oh,
just
good.
A little below freezing.
Good, that's nice. And so that's normal, because you guys really had a lack of water up there, and it really brought a lot of worry to a lot of Canadians. They're like, wow, the mountains are not being dusted with snow again and stuff. So you have developed, have you been developing a system and stuff like that? Well, what were you saying? I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. So I was going to invite everyone on the call tonight if they want to. I'm doing a freebie tomorrow, and it's a free call-in. It's phone calling in, actually, but we'll do some clearing, and then we'll move to the new timeline and hold space there, and people will get to explore the new timeline. And I'm sure most of the folks on this call have been moving back and forth anyway. The whole idea is to clear out that stuff so we can all stay there. So that was the purpose of my...
That's true. You know, it's like to stabilize the vacillation on the side of the light is would be more of a scientific term for what you are assisting people in. And so, so this sounds like a really cool system that you have.
Well, there's that. That's pretty new, you know. The other one I do is a soul integration type of energy process, and it actually works really well for the second wave indigos. They just click in and they're gone, seems like, and it's not, because I can basically see into people's energy systems and see what's going on and what needs to be cleared and strengthened and those kinds of things. And the soul energy is, what would you say? It's like seeing a map. And so then I can see the map for the person, and then I can see, what needs to be cleared, and then strengthen the new energies coming in. So it's a cool process. So, and I do that by donation. I was doing it for free for a while, but I think that it would be better to have a bit of a donation on that one, because it's really quite powerful work, because people are empowering themselves basically in that one. So
absolutely. And Donna, one of the first times I remember when I connected with you on Facebook, and I kept hearing about Donna Hill might come to the retreat, and I was like, who's Donna? And then I think one of us friended each other, and I was like, oh my God. The amazing thing I noticed was your energy field was so potent. And I was pretty astonished by that, and I was like, I want to know more about this Donna. And I instantly bonded with you, which is one of the beautiful things is, your origin, family of origin might have not been the right match, but you have an amazing soul family that just adores you. So when you look at the silver lining in that, you inherited a really cool family over here. So.
Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's one of the most amazing things, and I feel so grateful to travel, and do stuff with you and Patrick and everyone, because and we've just done amazing things, totally amazing things, totally changed my life. So
yes,
I'm so grateful.
It's like the intergalactic Waltons, as Rebecca and Kathy or something that we have. It's like there's different concentric circles of it. And so it's going to be connecting around the world for those who are resonating with it.
It's so amazing, the connection, because I think he might still be on here on the other one, is Yonatan. I'd like to say hey to Yonatan.
Is he on Yonatan?
Yes.
There he is. Yonatan, that's from Israel.
He's all the way from Israel, and he's on now. Is that I was just thinking about him a few days ago. And I was like, I wonder what happened to him. What's he doing? Because we hadn't heard from him in a while. And lo and behold, there he is. So just that connection is so powerful that this group has.
Yes, I think one of the mantras of our new communication system, reach out and touch everyone. Because we're getting to the point where if you think about somebody what's first, the chicken or the egg, but still there's a connection, and then boom, like that happened today. Somebody called, and it was just really cool that this new earth, the symptoms of it, like there's the symptoms of the old paradigm falling and things like that, but the new earth coming in is such an amazing dynamic. Wait till you guys see what's going to happen when the world is made in your image. And so, Donna, what does your process involve in your version of the world?
I just see light, and it's interesting. Like, are people feeling a bit of physical symptoms today at all?
Oh,
like
yes.
I'm feeling a bit of nausea and heat.
Oh, yes.
Yesterday was wonderful.
Yeah, lots of heat for me today. And it's funny because my skin on the outside will feel cold sometimes. And several moments of extreme vertigo, kind of not knowing what dimension I was on, and just kind of like very lightheaded for me today.
If we look at this from a holographic point of view, when they look from the higher realms into this one, they don't look at bodies and things. It's all different frequencies and the structures of them. And so if you look at the general field of a paradigm as a frequency, a certain general frequency with different pockets of thousands of different types of frequencies in it, but it has a general chord or tone, and they bring these together. There's a phasing in and out. So if what I was just watching when you guys were describing that was this dissonance and then a resonance when two opposing fields, because two diametrically opposing energies cannot occupy the same quantum space. So this is like a calibration. So as this one leaves, this one's coming in. And so as the higher one starts going, okay, oh, this is nice, la-di-da-da-da, then we're resonating up. But it's done in a way that doesn't create a whole breakdown of every system on the planet, which is a very polite way to do an ascension rather than crash, boom, bang, 5 natural disasters, please. So this is a very nice thing. And it's people like what your system you've created, Donna, is very good. We ready to have an example then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Do you, what?
Okay.
Or what? This is your show. I'm kind of accidentally taking over.
No, please do. You're a great talker.
Do you have a sample that you could give us, Donna, of what your process involves, or a description of it at least, that we could look and see what we could be involved in, say, tomorrow, or for your systems that you are starting to prototype and basically you're designing a new system for people?
Well, it's actually what I'm doing is a conglomeration of a whole lot of stuff that I've done, which is, body talk and theta healing. And so I can look into the body. And a lot of times I look at the group energy and, we want to vibe them up. So we'll take a bit of time to get them, much like Rebecca does. But I do a lot of, or can, do supports for the body, like holding the kidneys and clearing the adrenals and, rebalance the endocrine system a lot of times, keeping people really, really grounded and moving that energy into the earth. So, because, to rebalance the body, basically, a lot of times, because it's so stressful out there, I'm finding a lot of folks are needing the support to the adrenals and the kidneys. And then, of course, the solar plexus is another area. So it depends really on the group and what needs to happen. And I don't even know how many people are going to have signed up for tomorrow. So it'd be, the most people I've worked with is 20, so if I got like 50 or 60, then we can really rock and roll, because I also like to, bring in spiritual gifts. That's another thing. So for folks out there, if you're doing a soul journey or a clearing, and elemental or someone presents, ask them for a gift that's the true representation of who they are, and then you can give them a gift back, which is a heart gift. And it's a really lovely way of really connecting and bringing, like, now we're buds, right? We've exchanged gifts, so it really brings another person, or elemental or totem on your side as well too. And the other thing I really like to do is to share at the end, is to share all that energy and send it out through the earth grid, everything that we've done to benefit everyone, and to especially benefit the earth as well. So those are some of the things. It's kind of make it up as you go a lot of times too, because that's part of my training too. So
yes, but, and also if you could put in the chat the way to get a hold of you for your calls, or the way to sign up for that, could you put that in the Radiant Angel chat, and so everybody can have a link for that right now. And so it is very interesting that we have to pioneer these systems, but what we come up with is something. And one of the things I like to do is go to 300 or 400 years into the future and look back and look at this time and see what the legacy has become in 3 or 4 centuries. It's kind of cool, but that's one of my little odd fun things. Everything I create.
I like that. Yeah, because or asking yourself from the future to come back in and help out with stuff, that kind of thing as well. So
yes, and so it's pretty neat. Who knows what the legacies that we shall leave as footprints in the soul of mankind. As we get on this level of process, then it sounds very exciting what you do, and especially it seems like you use a transdimensional science of the God sight to peer into the Akashic records of the whatever that dimensional level of the body would be called, almost like a chelantic haptic interchange, where you can read the different energy systems and signatures of the different body parts, so that then almost like probably what the foundation of the medical intuitives would use, so they can see a kidney from 5,000 miles away. And then you take, and the way that you turn this into the connecting on a soul level of this to resonating to a higher level, so that you basically help release the dissonance, and then as you connect in and create a nice resonance to open up to that place, and plus the timeline work, plus connecting in with the elemental or these other great beings, sounds like a wonderful compendium of experiences.
Yeah, it certainly can be. And every group is different. I remember I did one group and I just had a sense there was one soul that was lagging, and I just helped her the most in the group. And she commented after she had quite severe sexual abuse, and I just focused on helping her. And then we all, in the group, I just asked the consciousness of the group to join hands, and we all felt healing to each other as well. And that's a really lovely way of exchanging consciousness. And once us folks all get our stuff cleared out, we can really rock and roll on all these new other levels and do some other really cool stuff. Because the new timeline, like once we feel stronger and in that space, then we can create whatever we want, really. So it's a matter of just deciding.
That's true. It's like being able to share consciousness without having to take on other consciousness of a personal level of the old paradigm of people's beliefs or what they think things should be or whatever. Not that lower nature, but the higher consciousness of the sharing and the gifting of those divine perceptions.
Yeah, from a soul level. Exactly, yeah.
Yes.
So, cool. It's going to be so much fun.
Weird question. It's getting pretty chipper for me sometimes. I'm working on the quantum field generator, and it's like I'm doing these different pieces and I'm making it look pretty, but I'm also mad sciencing this thing. So you guys are going to have a meatier, beefier thing, and for all you vegetarians, it's going to be a greater forest of love. And so,
Let's see.
so-
Lorraine says your voice is guiding and soothing the
Yes,
whole
Donna.
way.
Yes.
Aw, that's beautiful. Anyone on the chat have any questions for Donna?
Yes, and Lorraine, I noticed you said you have sweating balls or something. That was very interesting. So hey, it's on the chat.
Jonathan said yes, like recognizing their higher selves more than their human faults. That's true.
That's nice to see above that din of what this world wants to define us as, and all the things that pulling and whatever on the fabrics of our beings is. That's right, Jonathan. Thank you from Israel.
Yeah, and Jonathan, and that's too of what even we consider a fault. I mean, in the book Interview with an Angel, he said until you've become actual saints, you're going to have moments of anger and all the emotional stuff, and it doesn't mean you're not evolving. There's this whole misconception, too, that spiritual people never get angry, which is such a bunch of crap, because some of us are so sensitive. It's like, yeah, right.
I totally reserve the right to stay human as long as I freaking want, because it's like, no way am I going to be this high and mighty holy cloth type of thing and have to have my chair higher than everybody else's. It's like, go away, please.
That was me the other day. I was getting, especially right after that election stuff brought up so much stuff. I was getting just so irritated at some of people's beliefs that didn't align with mine.
Yes.
And it was
Rebecca was perfectly triggered, and in fact I said, well, now that you're sleeping with Donald Trump, you can just go have a life. I think he's looking for the next 7 wives or something. It's her energy was so off into that weird dimension.
Well, because a lot of
what are you
this stuff,
focusing on that for?
a lot of the stuff went totally against evolution, with everything from women's rights, everything we worked so hard for, to
Yes.
rights of African Americans, and it's like, okay, was this all just down the drain?
Yeah.
It's very frustrating.
It's like the new Donald Trump mantra, like, it's like the caustic nature of his being in a divine level. If you look at it, he was there to just basically piss as many people off as he could, be as rude as possible, have as many mistakes, be just, oh yeah, I'm invincible, yeah, but somebody forgot to put the back part of his pants on. So when he turned around, his true colors would show up at two cheeks moments. And so he was designed to be that like acidic, caustic energy. He sure did change America. You see how many states are writing right now? Yeehaw! Get out and make a difference.
Jonathan said Jesus was angry.
Yes, and you should know you're over there in his land. God, I tuned in, Jonathan, over there. I don't know what part of Israel you are, but conflict is never too far away. And what's interesting is, as Rebecca has learned to, as the Muslims have been emphatically drawn to your energy, you get to find out a different finger on the pulse than what the whole U.S. media says, and they're like partying with the Christians and Jews and celebrating and stuff. That whole small sliver of reality we are fed is very different from what is there. And so who knows, we may be over there doing something over there to help literally finalize peace in the Middle East or something by working with the deity level of stuff. And Donna, people like you will be zapping all of that stuff as well with us.
Yeah, I was on the new timeline, and then Facebook tanked me too. So I had 3 days of, oh my God. And and it was a new moon and I got back on the new timeline again. There's some really, really deep issues coming up for people, and they're really, really feeling it. And, maybe that's not a bad thing if they move through it quickly, because, I just hold space for all these people that are, finally just saying, enough of this. So.
Yeah,
yes.
exactly.
The Irish Senate Well, there's a guy that he must have, I think Ireland has its own Bernie Sanders. He's like, I'm really disappointed at what the Irish government's reaction and response to this tyrant, this fascist that they put in America is. It's just really surprising to me. It's really like, yeah, you go, dude, go for it.
Well, you know, one of the things is we're all striving for the unity consciousness, and then we all hear what walls are going up everywhere. It's like, wait a minute.
You know, in the Lesher report, Donna, the Paley report, it was amazing how this whole building walls separating, non-unity, it's like the more we resist the change, the more trauma that exists. And he says now it's game on. It's like the whole planet for the next 3 years is going to go through a Scorpio cycle. And so if you can help us get into a better way with all of that, that'd be just peachy.
Absolutely.
And so
it's really to learn tolerance, hey? I've just with where people are at, because I guess yeah, do my best to help out, but it's I kind of resigned myself thinking that people just weren't going to wake up and just do the best with the people that were ready to move forward.
Yes. Cartron has come up with an interesting phrase. He calls it the 6 degrees of bitch slap. And so it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just different directions of the same. Get it across your face. So, anyway, yes.
Yeah, he doesn't have an emotional body though, so he can get away with that.
No, I'm talking about everybody's going to have that. That's why it's important for us to stay okay. And in fact, we're listening to a little bit of Matt Kahn today, one of those channels who is not nearly as animated as we are, but he had some very nice things to say. How can we be grateful when something like that has happened? And it's good. It's a good lesson in divinity to hold that space, because we are holding the space and not getting involved in that battlefield of polarity. So it's good to hold that point as the pillars of heaven on earth.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Type up there, woman.
Donna, you said on your list about 3 things to look for in a healer. I thought that was interesting.
That's very interesting. Let's see if I can remember. Because when I trained with the Arbuthnauts in Saskatoon, this was the lady that I cleaned her house, and they were doing their life's work, and so I was very blessed to have found them to help me. And and what Dennis had said, his name was Dennis, what Dennis had said was, the healers really have to have 3 things. They have to care about people, and they have to have some skills. And he said they have to know how to keep their boundaries clear. So they have to be able to, keep their emotional stuff out of the work. And so, and that to me makes a lot of sense, because in this energy right now, anyone can shift anybody pretty much.
Right.
With your little finger. It's pretty easy. And don't let that be the indicator that there's a good healer there. They have to be able to keep their stuff out of the, their boundaries have to be intact. And that really only comes from doing the work, like really, digging in and knowing who you are and knowing what your triggers are and knowing how to stay clear. So those were the 3 things.
Absolutely.
And for me, I just always, didn't matter who I was hiring, I would talk to them for a few minutes and just get a feel for their energy. And, I could tell from the energy whether or not I could work with them. So that's the other part. But, some people may want to have a conversation but that's really the keys from his point of view. Those were the 3 keys.
That's beautiful. I know. That's an intention I always try to set, even before doing a session with someone, is to be used as a clear channel. No matter what kind of day you're having or things like that. But I always set that intention. So so the highest and most best will come in. So I totally resonate with what you just said.
Okay, so people have noticed that Radiant Angel's signal has gone off and on, and it's really weird because it seems good. Mine was the one that out of the new Galaxy S7 Edge commercial, it would shut down saying it's too hot, but it's still going well. So, what is next on our...
Let's see.
Would you like me to say the next thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
We've
Now,
covered
Donna,
that.
are you wanting to save your process for the call tomorrow, or is there a little example that you could give us right now so that we could see how it resonates with us?
Oh, well, or here's another thing we could do as well. It's, I think on the 29th of September, when that big wave of energy was coming in, I did a group process and I taped it. And if anybody would like that recording, you're certainly welcome. Just contact me through Facebook, and I'll send that out over to you. It's only about half an hour, but so that's one thing. In terms of a process, the tech on my side here is kind of fizzing in and out. We have really poor internet connection here, so
We have a good internet connection, and it just seems Rebecca's especially is Radiant Angels especially seems to be chopping back and forth. So it's probably the technology, and who knows? Maybe it's our energy.
That's what I was thinking.
To be turning on off and on energy. Now, if anybody is going to be using technology, one of the things that I've learned, and it is very pricey sometimes. When I was in Second Life, the virtual world, if you send energy through the tech, you know, it could shut it down because it's a whole different frequency than what this world is made from. So if you do this work, everybody, then you can have the energy show up right where the people are, because otherwise you could bring harm to computers. And if you shut down your favorite laptop, that can get expensive, not only in money, but in time. So I would have 6-week delays, and it would stop the whole flow every time that happened, and that happened 3 times. So now you just have it show up. And how do you do that? You don't have to transmit. You just have it show up, and you use the knowing, and you see it that way. So Donna, when you do that, then I'm sure that you see people, like you said, you see people healthy, or their soul needs a boost, a little pinch in the back side of their soul to get them going, and everybody holds it together. You're actually doing that where they are, which is pretty cool.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. And so how many people are in Canada versus other places for your work?
Most of the, well, I'm mostly online, but, you know, most of them are in the United States, and I have a good friend in Australia and some folks in the UK as well that are expressing some interest as well. So most Americans.
Yes, it is. So, well, that's good. It's hope for America yet. Because I'm sure when Donald builds his wall south of the U.S., the Canadians are going to build one too. That way we'll all be in a gated community. It's like,
I wonder if any of that's even going to happen.
Exactly.
So,
you know, he was supposed to be as raucous as possible. I mean, if you guys look at his debates, he wasn't checking notes. He was texting. He was down there going like this. He was doing little tweets and crap like that. He just did not care. He didn't have to, because it was already predetermined. And I think they let Billary know. So there was something that was already set. And so who knows what the highest levels that control the system, which I had a taste of them when I was working with the Hawaii Kingdom, are up to. Maybe they need to bust their own system, and they think it's going to turn out one way, or they're going to have more people come into their direction of fear and lack and all that. Oh my God, I'm going to make America great, but I got to put up a bigger wall type of thing. But then at the same time, is it designed to actually free up a bunch of the light workers that are no longer fitting? So how do we know the chess game that's going on at the highest levels of manipulation, being divine or not, of say like the ones who have been here, the immortals who are behind the scenes running the puppets of the banksters and all of that stuff? It's like it's this grand orchestration that is going to unfold very interestingly, Donna, because by it's going to be a 3-year process now of a build-up where it's going to be a grand crescendo in 2020, which will happen to be basically around election time again. So this may be a very different world, one way or the other, by that time.
well, the other thing he said, though, in his acceptance speech, which made me pause, he said, whether I'm in power for 2 years, 3 years, or 4 years. And I went, oh, because usually it's 4 years. So
yeah.
There's a little foreshadowing there with that.
I feel like it's actually, if his job as a collective archetype is complete, then he can be scooted along quicker if he does get in. So what is the Donald's purpose in our lives would be something that would be good to look at. And also all the ineptitudes of lack of integrity and everything else that goes on with all of this. So now, I tell you, this signal on Radiant Angel just keeps going back and forth. It's starting again. But mine seems to be the most consistent. Yeah, it's really interesting what's going to happen, but definitely the whole paradigm, we're getting ready to dramatically clean the slate and start over. And we're going to be focusing on the practical divinity part of helping to have people do realistic changes. Like if you have some land, well then plant a garden. You know, you'll have food. What can you do right now? Well, these things are something that can start building these oases of consciousness where you don't depend on anybody. And as wonderfully and fiercely self-sufficient people, we are coming together to make this wonderful new world in the way that it's just organically rising up. So that's beautiful.
Yeah. That it's, you know, I had a garden this year for the first time ever, because I never had the opportunity to do that. So, and it's just much healthier to eat the food that you've you know, planted and reaped. It's very, because it ties you back into the land. So it's a very organic process in many respects, not just you know, not just to be off the grid, so to speak.
I was noticing how much people have disincarnated from the world they live in with all of this technology and their fancy cars, and it's like, people, you're on the same bus, you're not even looking at each other. 70% of people are on their phones, and it's like, where's the human part? It's like, oh, look around. There's birds in the trees and stuff, and they're making beautiful sounds, or the weather's nice, or the wind's blowing. And so people have become isolationists in that way. So this is the renaissance, I think, of returning to remembering where we are. We're on this, in big space, we're on this planet, and we better take care of it. So that's cool. Your process, is there anything else you'd like to say about your process or add or do with in this interview?
Well, for me, it's I just intuitively go with the flow. So depends on what people are presenting that they want to fix. Well, fix isn't the right word. They just what areas do they feel they want more empowerment in their life? And so it can be like I've done just plain NLP with one guy because he was so stuck. So we just did NLP. And that worked for him. So it really depends. It's a big exploration in consciousness when I work with people because it really depends so much. But for the soul work, that kind of stuff is, you know, like connecting to your home world or your home star, that kind of thing that can bring in a lot of energy and insight and information for people. That's really cool stuff. And yeah, and the other thing I do, if people want a free 15-minute session, they can contact me too, and I'll do a little ditty with them. If anyone wants to explore some dragon energy, for sure get a hold of me because I really like that. That's going to be fun to explore that part of it. So,
you know, I saw a T-shirt once. It says, "Be careful in the land of dragons, because ye be tasty and good with ketchup."
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, that's very interesting. The thing with dragon, this woman had taught me was that always to vow, because they're very noble beasts, and they want to know what your intentions are because you know humankind has had give them the bad end of the stick kind of, so they want to know what your intentions are. So if a dragon comes along, it's to remember to bow to them, and then they'll bow back. And that will be the beginning of the friendship with them as well, too. But I don't think they present until they're ready to, you know, to discover, you know, come back with and be involved with humans again. But I think there's going to be more of that because the magical element is so missing, and that was I mean, remember the lifetimes we had when, everything was magic, basically, This is such a crazy reality in contrast to that.
Indeed.
Yes.
Indeed.
I'm seeing enchantment pop up in different places that in my existence, I know Rebecca has a certain quality of enchantment that is kind of hard to describe, but when you smile, the whole world does smile with you.
Aw, that's precious.
And
Thank
so,
you.
That's true.
And so you're whatever. And like Lorraine Gaskin, she goes, "Oh my God, a Scorpio and a Pisces on the same show. What an entertainment." And it's like, yeah, that's true. Like, see, you can't touch us because I'm liquidy. Don't feel your sting. So it's good. So Donna, what time is your event tomorrow?
It's 4 Central Standard Time, and so that's not working out so good for the folks in the UK, I realized after I'd set that time, but I'll do more of them, but it's 4 o'clock, and that's also, it's on my Ascending Soul.
That's actually 10 p.m. over there in the UK, I believe, because it's 5 hours ahead across the pond, and so that should be okay for a lot of people. Be done with work and dinner and all that stuff. Supper, they would call it. And so this sounds really good, and we'll check our schedule and maybe see you on your thing tomorrow.
Yeah, well, and the replay, if people can't make it, I have a replay. I'll send out the replay. I'm using your old teleconference.
Yes, that's
when you did call-ins,
you know, it's
I'm doing
amazing.
that, so I can send replays for folks.
Is that the free conference call makes its money by giving it stuff for free, because they have billions of minutes per month, and they put it into these large area codes that aren't rarely used. Like a lot of it is Iowa. It's like 712, and so it's actually, I grew up with that, and so it's so little population there that they just fill it in and they get paid that way. So they give paid membership qualities broadcasts technologies for free. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also dependable. Oh my God! Like Talk Fusion was, I think, a lesson in, it was what was it called? Exercise in futility at $50 a month. Thank you so much. So I'm glad I could pay for the 2-year class of Talk Fusion. Good. So once again, your link is what? How do you say that again?
It's My Ascending Soul.
Yes.
My page on Facebook. Yeah, it's. I'll have a website pretty soon.
Okay.
Awesome. And they all can get a hold of you if they would like a session from you. Just contact you on My Ascending Soul.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And also
I'm mostly on Facebook every day. They can even just send me a message. That's how it is right now. I'm kind of, technology is not so good here in the boonies, so, but,
yeah. And so,
and I think you did give my email address as well, I think, on the bottom there. So donnadhill@gmail.com.
yes.
So you can send me an email as well. That'll work.
Yes. And because when you become famous, you don't want people to have your home number.
I don't have a home number.
See, you're already ahead of the game.
Because I just kind of crashed here. I'm living in this little place, which is cool, but I never did get a landline. And I have a cell phone, but with no data, mostly it's just text messages, and if the doctor calls, that's about it. So I don't have a landline phone number. My Skype is Donna D. Hill, if people want to message me on Skype, because that's usually how I do sessions anyway, so that would be another way.
Okay. And so, is there any last words that you would like to share with the people?
I'm not sure. I love you guys all so much. It's been such a wonderful journey, and once we get our stuff cleared out, then we're really going to do crazy, wonderful things with Partron and everyone else. So,
yeah.
Absolutely, the amazing things, the avatar style things that we all know. If anyone hasn't gotten a chance to see Doctor Strange, it's It's pretty amazing. Yeah, and I had to laugh because what I was shown to use the golden spiral to step into the new Earth timeline is exactly what he uses in the movie, exactly as I was shown it. And I just sat there like, what kind of thing? Except, of course, their computer graphics nowadays movies are so enhanced that it's like so mystical and powerful beyond description. But alrighty.
Oh, I can't wait to see that one.
Alrighty.
Yeah,
And
it was. They paid a lot of money. It took a few thousand people or more just to be the army that put the graphics together on that, and it really shows. But Stan Lee never finishes, and as you guys know, Stan Lee, you have to always stay till the very end of the credits. This is how he forces you to see every credit of everybody that worked on something. He always puts the next piece of story in there. So that's how Stan. That's the way.
10 minutes later.
The way of the Stan, yes. Thank you. Now, thank you, Donna, for sharing all this information. This was really great. And so,
thank you
my
so
pleasure.
much, Donna. And we're very proud of you for taking this step forward and going public. And actually, this is probably a beginning of amazing shows and opportunities for you to open up. And you just flowed with it. We had the whole group supporting you, and we're very proud of you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it felt like it was time.
And
So, yay.
you did very well, and definitely would love to have you again. And I know we'll be hearing lots more from you. And in closing, for the broadcast, I can do a very short guided meditation, and we can all raise our frequency to the very highest, if that's okay with everyone. With actually Donna having you hold the point in Canada for the Lake Louise Archangel Michael portal.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I love that.
Alrighty, this will just be something short, but definitely we'll go as high as we can go.
to wrap it up, and I hope I have my volumes correct, so let's find out. Yay! Are you ready?
Mm-hmm. Okay, everyone. Just start by taking a deep breath in.
Oops, I'm sorry. I will Merlin your magic, and there it is. Okay.
And as you take this deep breath in, bringing all of the power of the universe inside of yourself. And allow this power to start to rise up within you. And exhale, and as we exhale, breathing out all stress of the day. Anything negative that we might have picked up from the collective. All worries, all fears. Just settling in into a state of peace, relaxation, harmony, and eternal love. And next, take another deep breath in through the nose. This time bringing in the magic and the enchantment of the universe, drawing this deep, deep within you, sending this breath down to the belly. And exhaling all that no longer serves you. And once again, another deep breath in, breathing in the energy of the stars, sending this transmuting energy deep into the belly, and releasing it with the breath. And now we invite in all of the Ascended Masters to step forth. All of the Archangels and Saints, all of our power animals. And Donna, we ask you to hold the place. Be the point of placeholder to bring in the dragons who are always waiting in the ethers. All we have to do is call upon them. All of our spirit guides, our own higher selves, and our guardian angels. Knowing that they are ever present, especially at these important times of transition, appointed to each and every one of us. Ivikishimu kusu, vukushatara a, vekesimu, vukushitara avakesi, vundara avakosu, vuutara vukesi. Ah, Keshitara O Mikael, we open a portal to Archangel Michael's special place in Lake Louise, Canada. Archangel Michael, our beloved and most holy and sacred protector, the very one who was prophesied to literally slay what they call in Revelation the beast, the guarder and watcher of our souls. And see us gather around this portal in Lake Louise, Canada. Now see us start to rise up higher and higher into this portal, expanding and expanding. See us continue to rise up, even higher and higher. And now see us gathered here above the earth. And as we join hands in a circle, see the earth below us. And let's create a ring of fire surrounding our beloved planet Earth. Let's start to spin this ring of fire clockwise. And let's continue the spin of this vortex. As all of the other angels now start to assemble in, taking us into an almost beautiful, almost blinding white light. Just sit peacefully in the center of this beautiful, almost blinding white light. And now let's bring this energy vortex to a stop. And once again, igniting the ring of fire, start to spin the vortex counterclockwise. And now we ask the angels to increase the spin even faster. And as we do this, let's stand here in this space for the collective. And as we do this, we ask the angels to release all of the collective disharmony taking place on the lower dimensions. And we hold the place for every man, woman, and child on this planet. And the first one to go is rage. We ask the angels to come in and release this now. The next one is fear. Many, many, many souls counting on us, those of us that have access to these higher dimensions, because many of them do not. The next is grief. We now release grief from the human collective. The next very, very big one is separation. We release all illusions and all mental constructs of separation. And this whole us versus against them mentality. We ask you, Archangel Michael, to deconstruct that now. We release all forms of greed and corruption in this vortex. All forms of enslavement. We ask you now, Archangel Michael, set the captives free. We release depression, angst, confusion, and shock. We release lies. We ask that the masses would completely have the veils removed from their eyes to see the truth, the real truth in every situation. That they would be given that X-ray vision to know who's who and what's what. And for all of these souls participating in this outdated KKK system, we place them in this cleansing vortex, releasing all of their hatred, all of their bigotry, that their own higher selves would come in and realize that what they do to another, they do to themselves. And we release now anything else that is not love in this ring of fire. And we once again invite in the dragons, the masculine and the feminine, to unite in harmony and breathe one breath of fire on all of this karmic energy that has come up for clearing. Now we bring this energy vortex slowly to a stop. And once again, we start the clockwise vortex, igniting another very powerful ring of fire as we unite hand in hand, heart in heart, and soul to soul. ask the highest councils of heaven to now pour forth in and through us and our fields, and allow this energy to flood into all of humanity, the exact opposite of everything we just released. Unity, forgiveness, love, compassion, and one of the biggest ones is mercy. And we also ask that the soul groups would now unify. Many of the soul groups having opposing each other, that they would now come together as one unified field of light, united for the highest good of all concerned. We ask that this energy of harmony, peace, love, and joy would continue to stir within our hearts as we sleep tonight and over the weeks and days ahead of us. And the many, many souls that we will touch with this energy, knowing that we are all here on purpose and that we're all making a difference. And now we can bring this vortex to a stop and open our eyes. And once again, we'd like to thank you, Donna Hill, for this amazing opportunity to have you as a guest. We're honored and grateful for all that you do and for being here on the planet. We send you much love. And we all love you, and good luck on the event tomorrow. I'm hoping that we will be on also after. We have an event tomorrow, a live event.
Yes, we'll see how that goes. So tomorrow, guys, from 1:30 to 4 Eastern Time, I'm going to be broadcasting the Pathways of Light, where Cartron will be sharing how to take practical divinity and apply it in your life. And we're going to start bringing out the quantum field generator. It's in a room upstairs at the Metaphysical Chapel in Fort Lauderdale. So that's going to be pretty interesting. I'll post that in the morning, if not tonight. And so life is good. Thank you, everybody, for being a part of this. Thank you, Donna. We will see you guys later.
Thank you, Donna. Big
This
hugs.
has been the episode 1 of season 2 of This Ascended Life.
Bye,
Have a
Donna.
nice day and a wonderful ascension.
Bye-bye.
She's looking at me now. See you later.